Hi there, it's Kathy from Real Life Health Coaching, and today we're going to talk about sugar and why it's so hard to say no. Sugar addiction is one of the first things that I look at with a lot of my clients because it's just one of those things that it really is something that's really hard to say no to, and especially something the women with PCOS is something who are trying to lose weight, and this is one of their battles. So sugar is highly addictive, and that's one of the things why I work with my clients to reduce their sugar in their diets, which will help them with their PCOS symptoms. And people in general, like the society today, we are all consuming far too much sugar. We're all addicted to it, and it is just affecting so many things in our body. So an abundance of added sugar can cause your liver to become insulin resistant, which means your body is unable to control your blood sugar levels, and then this can lead to type 2 diabetes, which, let's face it, it's just one of the things that is really getting out of control in society today. Type 2 diabetes is becoming an epidemic, basically. So sugar is highly addictive, not unlike alcohol and cocaine. So if you're having trouble saying no, that's why. It's a highly addictive substance. So, don't be so hard on yourself if you are struggling to cut back or say no to it when you're offered something full of sugar. So research has shown that high sugar diets can alter our decision making and ability to control our behavior by reducing our willpower neurons. Pretty scary, isn't it? And that's why you're having trouble saying no. It's actually changing the chemical processes and decisions in our brain. It's more of a case too of the more we consume, the more we want it. So there you go. So high levels of sugar can lead to insulin inhibit ovulation and cause metabolic disorders, contributing to about a third of women's infertility issues. It lowers your immunity, so that means that can also affect male infertility as well. So if you're trying to have a baby, it's important that the guys get on board with their diets as well. It's not just about the girls. Sugar leads to inflammation in the body, so eating too much inflammatory foods can cause chronic low-grade inflammation, which leads to serious problems such as heart disease, diabetes, as I've already mentioned, cancer, allergies, and joint pain. Just one can of soft drink or soda a day has been seen to increase your inflammatory markers, insulin resistant, and bad cholesterol, as well as weight gain. You'll also get a similar amount of sugar from a glass of fruit juice if you're having that every day. You're more likely to develop gout due to increased levels of uric acid, and people with high sugar intakes may be at a greater risk of developing cancer. Cancer feeds off sugar, so a low sugar diet is recommended for cancer patients. Excess calories leads to obesity. I think we probably aware of that already. But obesity is also considered an inflammatory disease, so too much added sugar is linked to weight gain and obesity. Increased heart disease risk is probably due to your increased LDLs, increased blood pressure, obesity, insulin resistance, and inflammatory markers. Excessive sugar is also linked to liver disease, arthritis, mental decline, and inflammatory bowel disease. So you might be thinking, therefore, that all sugar is bad. Well, natural sugars do behave differently in the body. When consumed as a whole food, the protein and fibre in the fruit cause the sugar to be absorbed slowly and prevents the blood sugar spikes. They may even have anti-inflammatory properties when consumed as whole foods. So naturally occurring sugars should be enjoyed in moderation, as it is still sugar, but there are many health benefits from these type of foods as well. Another thing with sugar is how it affects or controls pleasure and happiness. The brain produces huge surges of dopamine when sugar is consumed. This is the same feel-good chemical produced when we have sex. It's a similar reaction by the brain, as I said, with heroin and cocaine, and the brain uses dopamine as a reward system. So we wouldn't be reproducing if it didn't make us feel good, like the production of the dopamine. So the thing is, though, with excessive sugar consumption, the brain over time loses its ability to produce the dopamine by itself, and it will depend more and more on substances to create it. So for those reasons, high sugar consumption is linked to anxiety and depression, as the brain loses its ability to produce the dopamine without some form of a sugar hit. Sugar also triggers the release of serotonin, which is another neurotransmitter that regulates your sleep, mood, and appetite. So using sugar to boost serotonin with time, we are depleting our natural stores. And sugar is one of the first things I look at with my clients and with women in the groups that I'm working with. And we first work on gaining awareness of added sugar in their diets, and then we work on ways to start reducing it. The World Health Organization recommends that women shouldn't have more than 25 grams of added sugar a day. So that's about 5 or 6 teaspoons, depending on your teaspoon measurement. But within that 25 grams, it does include your fruit juice, because, like I've said, when you break the fruit down into juice, the body absorbs it differently to as if you were consuming a whole piece of fruit. I really encourage my clients to start looking at the nutrition panels on the backs of their packets when they're buying foods, and not just be looking at what's on the front, but like I said, on the back as well, and also looking at the list of ingredients. And if sugar is listed in the top 3 to 5 ingredients, then it's probably fairly high in added sugar. The nutrition panel will show your total sugar, so that also includes natural sugars that might be coming from fruit or dairy and maybe even some vegetables. So it's recommended if a product has more than 5 grams of sugar per 100 grams, then it's considered quite high in sugar and is something that should be considered as an occasional treat rather than an everyday food. Now, the thing about this is our packaging can be really misleading, because on the front it might claim that it's low in sugar, and that's because it meets that 5 grams per 100 grams requirement. However, if the serving size is maybe 300 or 400 grams, then you're consuming a significant amount of your sugar in that one serve. So you could be having 15, maybe 20 grams of sugar in one meal, and that's nearly your whole daily allowance of added sugar taken up. So a good starting point is to first be looking at what you're consuming and how much sugar is in what you're already consuming. Then start looking for better alternatives that have less sugar in them, and where you can start making some swaps and reducing your sugar. So start looking what you're doing at the moment, and then start working towards lowering it, remembering that sugar is highly addictive, and that's why manufacturers are adding it to so many foods, because they want us to be addicted, because if we're addicted to it, we're going to keep buying their products. So I hope you've gained something from this today. One of the takeaways is that sugar is highly addictive, and it is really hard to get off that addiction, but it is quite possible to do it. Don't feel that it's impossible. We can start making healthy changes to your diet and lifestyle. Anyway, really lovely having you on today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.